I understand that more people saw opera outside the Royal Opera House in London than actually saw the operas in the Royal Opera House in London this year. And one of the first companies to bring opera to our cinema screens was the Metropolitan Opera. So it's great to have a representative here to talk us through how that process happened. So here we have.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to thank SIBMAS and TLA for inviting the Met to present and be part of your discussion today. My name is Elena Park. I'm an assistant general manager at the Met, where I've been for about 8.5 years. And the main things I work on are creating content for the radio and the HD shows, as well as events with partner institutions around the city to try to, as you say in your theme, build communities for opera and classical arts. So I thought it would be helpful to give you some background on the Met before diving into the digital offerings that we now have. So just a few key facts. The Met was founded in 1883. It's the oldest opera company in the United States, and our annual budget in the 12-13 season was $327 million. Happily, although the tickets can be expensive. A third of the seats are less than $100, and you can even sit for $20 or stand for, I think, somewhere around there, $20, $25. In the typical season, in this coming season, we have 6 new productions, 18 revivals. It's a total of 221 performances, and we have 23 radio international broadcasts, nearly 100 satellite broadcasts, and HD transmissions that number this year 10, plus a Plazacast. And I should say that I was happy to see colleagues from Warsaw, because we're bringing the production of Iolanta Bluebeard's Castle that we created together with them. It premiered there. It comes to the Met next year, so it's good to be in the same room. Back in 2006, the Met was experiencing some difficulties. There was a declining and aging audience. The box office had declined for a number of consecutive years. And so Peter Gelb, who had been the chief at Sony Classical, came in to try to rejuvenate the Met, connect with a broader public, and he wanted to launch a series of public initiatives to try to succeed. The idea of Peter running the Met actually came from Beverly Sills, who was a great representative and proselytizer for the arts, as well as being a brilliant fundraiser after she finished her career as an opera singer. So back in 2006, some of the initiatives were to showcase the world's greatest singers and conductors, to build on the music standards that James Levine, our longtime music director, had set for our chorus and orchestra, to broaden the repertoire with more modern masterpieces alongside the classic works, to engage directors from the worlds of theater and opera, and to expand the education programs nationwide, and more about that in a bit, offer more public events and accessible pricing, and also create a contemporary gallery of art in the lobby of the Met, which is free. So with the media platforms, the Saturday matinee radio broadcasts had been on the air since 1931. And it's now in 43 countries. The potential reach is 8.5 million listeners. And we also, on the beginning of the 2006-07 season, launched a SiriusXM satellite radio service, which is subscription-based, and it has several live performances a week and archival broadcasts. We also have Met Opera On Demand, and I laughed when Alan Jones mentioned Specialist Library during his presentation, because we're very specialized because we only offer opera. But our Met Opera On Demand service launched in 2008. It's web-based. We have more than 500 Met performances, radio, standard definition titles, HD titles. You can get it on your iPad, you can get it on Amazon Instant and iTunes. And then recently we launched Met Opera On Demand Student Access to provide academic institutions with access to the Met's online library. And so academic institutions of any size can get a license, and their students can consume our content as much as they want. And there's a lot of educational and background materials to supplement the listening and the viewing that they want to do. And many of the HD performances have subtitles in the most common languages that are needed. And we are planning to expand to offer this licensed service to more than academic institutions. So of course, if you're interested, just come see me afterwards. Our website, we have more than 5 million unique visitors to the website during the 13-14 season, and we have an award-winning archive section, and it's a searchable database with performances and information from over 130 years. Our YouTube channel, we have a bunch of videos, we have 3 million views, and a fair number of subscribers concerning its opera. And just a quick look at our social media, we have an active social media presence with the usual platforms. So the main thing I think that Nancy invited me here to talk about was the HD Live series. Basically, the impetus for it came from an unusual place. Back in, I think, 2003, David Bowie had done a record launch for a reality tour where he had a live performance of his record release, and it was simultaneously beamed into venues in several different countries, and it was a big success for him, but no one really picked up on that model. So when Peter Gelb was trying to think of how we could reach new audiences immediately, globally, this idea of using that idea and applying it to opera came to the fore, and it was the Julie Taymor Magic Flute production that launched the series in December 2006. This was an English language abridged version. It runs about 110 minutes. So it was designed to reach a large audience, and James Levine was conducting. So it launched the series in that time, and then the series has grown and grown since then, and we've kind of refined the way that we produce these live shows. Our biggest selling title to date remains Carmen from January 2010, and that was with Elena Garancha and Roberto Alagna. And just a few things about the way we produce these shows, similar to what you just saw with digital theater. We shoot them live. We have multi-camera, usually there are 10 cameras. We have hosts who are opera stars who happen to be very good on their feet and good presenters. It's good to have opera singers actually do the interviews because they can understand what their colleagues are up against in terms of learning a new role or the challenges inherent in a mad scene, or they can talk to a conductor about pacing or the things that they know intimately from a first-person perspective. We do a lot of live interviews, and they tend to provide a lot of the entertainment value because people say surprising things. And then a lot of people respond to the live set changes. I talk to people who go to the Met and then they go to the live HD show because they get to see the things behind the curtain. So you'll see the stagehands moving the set, or the people doing final touch-ups in the lighting or wig and makeup and that kind of thing. And I think the main reason that it's really worked is because it's connecting us to a global audience worldwide. So I want to show you a little video to give you an idea of the series, and then tell you a little bit more about it. I'll see if I can. No, I'm going to see if I can do this. I need a Chris Warner. Okay.
Part of the worldwide community of opera lovers watching this performance of
Del Rosenkavalier,
Orfeo ed Euridice, Dr. Atomic,
La Cenerentola,
Turandot, Peter Grimes.
Beautiful, powerful, and passionate, Armida is a character who has fascinated opera composers for centuries.
Juliet has such a huge range emotionally and vocally. Do you enjoy that?
Oh, I do enjoy to fall in love on the stage and to live all this exciting life like in 24 hours. Very fast. Fall in love, be very passionate, crazy, and die in the end. It's exciting.
The chorus sounds fantastic. What is your secret?
Well,
do you beat them?
No, I do
Are you
not.
nice?
No, I'm very nice to them.
So how many performances have you sung at the Met?
Tonight is 2,923.
That's unbelievable. How many stagehands are doing this change?
Nearly 80 guys trying to put all this together, light it, move it, rearrange it.
This is amazing.
Good old-fashioned theatrical sleight of hand.
The last time I saw such a physically intense Carmen. Are you both bruised and black and blue now?
Look at that.
Oh my God!
A lot of blood.
Tell me the process of making severed heads.
In Salome, we have John the Baptist,
Right.
which is,
Right.
we have
Which
that
is
right
I
here.
thought he looked familiar.
That is actually a mold of Bryn Terfel.
Bryn Terfel, the great bass baritone.
How do you deal with the comic timing? Is there some special technique?
Panic, fear, horror always leads to really good comedy.
I've done my yoga. You don't do this without warming up.
Salut la France, je suis très très contente que ce soit diffusé presque partout en France.
Okay, good. One note about the director that you saw, Bart Shear, who has won Tony Awards here and done things like The Barber of Seville for us, South Pacific, and other great Broadway shows. They work in concert with directors like Robert, who come in and talk about what the conception of the production is and what the important things are to get for the TV or the HD audience. So there's a lot of collaboration that happens between the people who come in to produce the live show and the people who exist really to make it for the live audience in the Opera House, you know, the people who are performing for 4,000 people at the Met on a given night. In the very beginning, I think people were very suspect about whether we would find an audience. We started in 6 countries. We started in 6 countries and ended with 8 in the 2006-07 season. But as you can see, once people found out what this was and they started telling their friends, and there was such a rabid, passionate dedication to opera. If you're an opera fan, it's like being a World Cup fan or some kind of other fan where you will go to all measures to keep up with the art form and the artist you love. So as you can see, there's been a big rise. We haven't signed Antarctica, but we are on all the other continents. This is the graph that shows you the total theaters in the US and outside. Interestingly, 67% of our tickets are sold outside the US. And this just shows you the HD attendance in thousands. So at this point, we're finished 8 seasons. We've sold over 15 million tickets, which is great for a so-called dying art form. The great thing also in terms of us being able to access global audiences and connect them with the house is that this series has become an unexpected revenue source because this series broke even in the 3rd season, and we started to see profits starting from the 4th season. And we have foundation support from a family foundation, Neubauer Family Foundation, as well as Bloomberg, foundations that are interested in reaching larger audiences and art accessibility for the arts. And then we also have corporate support, and we see about half the ticket revenue from a given movie theater ticket. So if someone spends $25 here, typically we get half that. So we would get $12.50, although the partnerships vary according to country. The gross ticket sale revenue in the 12-13 season was $60 million worldwide. Once we had to pay all the production, distribution, profit sharing costs, the Met saw a profit of $17 million. And what happened with the unions was that they had been seeing declining media income. So they left the media clause open when Peter Gelb came in, and he and the prior general manager negotiated a deal where there would be a profit-sharing situation. So they would agree to have the things captured and shared, and then they would stand to profit on the back end if we made money, which we did, fortunately. So that's been a great thing for the company and for the people involved with putting it on. We have lots of performers, and we have 16 unions, and so it's been a boon for the art form and for the house. In terms of the rollout, we do live. There are a couple countries who, for time differences, like New Zealand, Australia, Asia, they do it time shifted or on a delay, and then we offer them online with the Met Opera on Demand, and then they're seen on PBS, which is our domestic partner, and then sometimes we're releasing them on DVD by ourselves or with a partner. The HD program has been helpful in terms of our education outreach efforts. We are in 34 school districts across 24 states, and we reach 15,000 students a year, and this is in addition to the educational and outreach initiatives of the Met and the Metropolitan Opera Guild. And I think the main thing, hearing the conversation today, is about accessibility and preservation. The funny thing is, someone took the word ephemera out of his presentation title, but I mean, live performance in many ways is meant to be ephemera, and nothing can replace the experience of being live in the opera house. So we want people to go in and experience it, because it's acoustically such a different experience, and you're surrounded by a live audience. But insofar as we can capture the performances and share it with a global audience, that's the basis behind all of our media efforts. And also there's an interesting thing that you can do. You can compare performances. For instance, you saw the clip of Carmen. We have Anila Rashvelishvili singing at the Fall, but you can go online and you can compare it to Waltraud Meyer and Plácido Domingo doing this in 1997, or you can listen to 10 different historic radio broadcasts, Rosa Poncel from 1937, or Regine Crespin in 1975. And so it also is really an enduring library for opera that's immediately accessible. So most of all, we do hope that it helps to create more excitement and interest for the art form and to build communities for opera. So thank you.